2 billion. That's the number of people in the world right now who have never heard the name of Jesus. To put that in perspective, that's well over 6 times the population of the United States. It's crazy to think that 2,000 years after Christ told us to go, we still have a third of the world left. If that breaks your heart, good. As a believer who understands God's heart for the world, it should. I mean, we are, after all, the very vessels God has chosen to reach the lost with. Christ didn't ask imperfect people to boldly share his story with the world. He commanded them. So what do? We go. Well, sort of. We recognize the need, but we don't just hop on a plane tomorrow, fly to a third world country, and start evangelizing the people in a different language. To effectively share with a different language and culture takes much more preparation. You need to know some things before being equipped. For example, when you get there, how will you learn the culture? How will you learn the language? How do you effectively share the message of Christ? When you finally do start sharing, do you start in creation to provide context, or do you just start with Christ and hope they'll understand as you go? And finally, do you even know enough about God's story to teach it in a new culture? You see, there's a lot that goes into cross-cultural evangelism. It makes sense to take the proper time to train the missionary before just sending them off. So that's what we do. We're Ethnos360 Bible Institute. Ethnos is Greek for people groups, and 360 is English for, 360. Just think of people groups all around the globe, or all 360 degrees. We're the first part of training for missionaries who want to serve overseas under the support of our missions organization, Ethnos360. We feel the very first thing missionaries should learn is God's Word, so that's what we teach first. Located in Waukesha, Wisconsin, we take students through 2 years of chronological Bible teaching. They're grounded in all of God's story, with a foundation of truth that will last them a lifetime. If they want to continue with the mission, they'll be further trained at our missionary training center. It's here that they'll take another 2 years to learn about things like linguistics, how to study a culture, and other practical things needed for the mission field. But let's focus on the Bible Institute for a moment. While this is the first part of the missionary training, many graduates opt to stay in their country instead of becoming missionaries. The credits received here even transfer to some larger universities like Moody or Liberty, so students can further their education stateside if they'd prefer. The education here at EBI is pretty unique. There are about 200 students with a 3-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. Also, the staff don't even get paid. Every full-time staff member is financially supported by his or her church and other generous believers in their life. That helps us keep your costs down so that you can focus more on growing in your knowledge of the Word. In a nutshell, that's who we are. A Bible school that helps train missionaries and other believers to effectively go and share the Word, wherever that context may be. Because whether you're called to being a missionary, or you're called to serve right where you are, all believers can agree on one thing. We're not called to go. We're commanded